just want to take a moment to just breathe in life, because oftentimes we take the air that we breathe, our ability to just take in some breath for granted. And one of the things that I have really learned in the last year is the importance of taking in every moment as if it's the first and the last, or it could be the first and it could be the last. And so oftentimes I will just take in a breath and just sit with it. And it's really beautiful because it allows me to center myself and to just immerse myself in the present moment. And if you really think about it, it is really the only thing that's real. The past isn't real anymore. We can create lots of different thoughts around our past, but it is just a figment of what we remember about the past. And the future doesn't exist yet. And so in reality, the only thing that's real is this present moment. And so using your breath to anchor yourself in the present moment is a really powerful way of experiencing life as we were meant to. So last week I talked a little bit about energy and how we're all underneath all the matter, all of our the physical manifestation of who we are, our hair, our bodies, everything actually creates energy. Our thoughts create energy, our emotions create energy, really powerful energy. And so I really see the world now through the lens of energy, and I see things, the door, life, the trees, nature, but I look a little bit deeper, and when I see things for what they really are, they just ultimately translate into energy. And I'll talk a little bit about what that means to me over time, because there's a lot that I understand now about energy. But one thing that I have been doing is really working with some trapped emotions that I think oftentimes we don't realize actually sits within our bodies. As I mentioned, emotions are just energy. I think we live in a society now where we are overstimulated cognitively. And I certainly know for sure that I've spent most of my life just not allowing myself to feel, really. I really believe that suffering either comes from two places: clinging on to what no longer exists in the moment, or pushing away a particular emotion that we don't want to feel. And so have you ever experienced being triggered by something? Whether someone makes you mad, or your thoughts get the best of you and you start to experience a particular emotion that governed your being in the past, right? These are traumas that really exist in our past, and our bodies have essentially taken it and really wants to protect us. This is what most psychologists would call the inner child. But in the last 9 months, I have really, really realized how much I have I've done a lot of suppressing of emotions, because when we are hurt in the past, particularly in our childhood days, we are essentially taught to just suppress it, or to try to distract ourselves from feeling those emotions. And like anything, emotions create energy, and when we try to suppress or try to distract ourselves from those emotions, they actually get trapped in our bodies. And that's why Oftentimes when you approach a particular moment, when somebody just does something, that shouldn't really make you mad, I would call these triggers. They somehow trigger something in our bodies and we enter into fight or flight mode, even though there's really nothing that should be threatening us. Our bodies eventually respond to it. I would say that those are probably just energies that are just stuck in your bodies, among other things, obviously. One example of this is when I was walking across Monkey Forest here in Ubud, and there are monkeys everywhere here. They are very attracted to plastic bags, and so I had a bunch of snacks in a plastic bag, and I know that, they basically try to steal from you, that this is how they survive here. So I put it under my shirt, and I essentially got attacked. And I couldn't get the plastic bag out of my bag. And so I felt, my body enter into fight or flight mode, and that really traumatized me. Every time I would see a monkey, my body would literally have a reaction. And so one of the things that I did was, essentially, as I am going through this street called Monkey Forest, where they come in droves, I literally sat with the feeling. I dropped the label, meaning whatever is causing the emotion, that fear, and I just breathe in and out, and I started to recite, all is okay, I'm willing to let this go, all is okay, I'm willing to let this go. And what I was really doing was essentially just allowing that energy to flow outside of me. It took me about 10 minutes to do it. So again, just to reiterate the practice, when you feel that experience enter your body, you're feeling some kind of an emotion, drop the label in your mind, find where it is actually in your body. So when I'm fearful, I actually feel it somewhere in my chest and somewhere in my throat. And usually I will just sit with it. I will try not to distract myself from it, because again, emotions can oftentimes just be energy, just trying to get released. And I just sit with it and I breathe in and out. And what I do is I just recite, I'm willing to let this go, all is okay. And what you're doing is you're essentially allowing that energy to get released. And I would do some visualization exercises too, that as I'm breathing in and out, I'm also picturing that energy mass that's stuck somewhere in my body slowly dissipate. Our imaginations are really powerful, you guys. Imagination actually creates energy. And so as that's happening, something within our bodies are responding to it. And within a 15 to 20 minute time frame, I was able to fully let go of that energy. And the beautiful thing about this is that once the energy releases from your body, it's gone forever. And so yes, I still get a little bit nervous around monkeys, but not in the context of how I experienced it when it tried to steal that plastic bag from me. I'm just generally a little bit skittish because they have tried to steal things from me. But I was able to release that energy. And so in the past 9 or 10 months, I would oftentimes use just these random triggers, right? Like, when I would feel that sensation appear, I would drop the label and I would just sit with it and I would just breathe in and out. And I gotta tell you guys, the result of this has been very powerful for me. I never really realized how much I just held in my bodies, and there are studies out there that actually suggest that these trapped energy inside of our bodies actually make us sick. And so this is just a practice that I now exercise every time I'm feeling triggered. I just sit with it and I breathe in and out and allow the energy to pass. And I have to say, like, I'm actually triggered significantly less more now than I've ever done before. And so the power of breath, the power of energy, and the fact that emotions are actually there to guide us. Our emotions have a lot of wisdom that we can learn from about ourselves and about life in general. And I really see emotions now as this beautiful experience, right? Emotions actually allow us to have human experiences. Imagine if we could, if we're looking at something beautiful without emotions, it isn't really an experience. And so there's a lot of wisdom that comes with the human emotion. And, whatever it is, however we want to judge emotions, whether it's anger or happiness or joy or or frustration, there's a lot of wisdom that comes with it, and we are as humans designed to experience them. And so I would just encourage all of you guys to allow yourself to experience life, whether it's happiness, joy, anger, they're all working together to create human experiences. And if we can just be an observer of them and not be swept by them, we could really experience life in a whole new way, just like the way I have. So I hope that's been helpful, you guys. I am really excited about being able to talk more about energy, because energy is everything. And I hope this week's video was helpful. And again, I want to hear from you guys to see if any of these resonate, if you end up trying it, the practice, and see what, if anything beautiful transpires. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks again, and see you guys next week. Love and light, as always, here from Bali.